Skip, what was your takeaway from last night?
I love LeBron James. Yeah, I missed him. I missed him. We needed him so badly here on Undisputed. Shannon.
What?
Your man was at it again last night.
What did he do now?
Drama King James was in mid-season form. This is why LeBron James is by far the most entertaining player in all of sports, on and off the floor, for the right reason sometimes and for, in this case, the wrong reason. I realize it was just a preseason game, but the Cavs played it unlike most preseason games because obviously LeBron has had a bum ankle, so he says. I buy that.
What you say, so he says? You don't buy it then?
Well, I'm about to get into what I'm not buying from last night. So because he has not been able to play, the Cavs chose to play their second-to-last preseason game the way NFL teams play their second-to-last preseason game, as a dress rehearsal. They put a lot of weight into what was going on last night because the starters played 3 quarters. And I did watch the whole thing from start to finish, so I'm not just speaking out of school here. I think I have a pretty good feel for what happened. And LeBron had a rough night in those 3 quarters, trying to play with his new group of starters, his buddy Dwyane. And in the first half alone, LeBron had 7 turnovers. And just for some perspective, if this had been a game that counted, the all-time single game record for turnovers in a regular season game is Jason Kidd with 14. So LeBron would have been in a real game halfway to 14 just in the first half. He tacked on 1 for good measure in the third quarter, so he wound up with 8 turnovers. And for the game, LeBron wound up in 30 minutes in plus-minus. He was a minus 18. Not very good. But by the way, Kevin Love, starting now at center, I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Kevin Love was actually in only 21 minutes because he tweaked his knee, hit up against somebody else's knee and had to sit out. But in just 21 minutes, he was minus 21 as he shot 1 for 12. So everybody's out of sync, including the new guy. Dwyane Wade shot 1 for 7, and he was like LeBron, minus 18. And the Cavs at home in their dress rehearsal preseason game got blown off their own floor by what's left of the Chicago Bulls. And, of course, the immortal Justin Holiday. He looked like Michael Jordan last night as he went for 28 and 11. So what happens after the game? LeBron reminds the media that, remember what I told you, if this had been a real game, I would not have played. Wait a minute. What? So LeBron, because he is the best player on the planet, says you.
Yes, you acknowledge it.
He needed an excuse for this horrendous night that he and the whole group of starters had. So he had to remind everybody, if this had been a real game, I would not have played. What? I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. So you're saying your ankle is still so bad that if the game had counted, you wouldn't have played, but because you haven't played with this group of starters, you got to go ahead and risk aggravating it or really hurting it much worse in a preseason game with the regular season looming next
a week from last night.
Yeah, a week from last night. By the way, this guy named, what's that guy's name? Kyrie. I don't know. He's out of sight, out of mind. He went to Boston. He has to go home, right? He's coming home to Cleveland to play on opening night. But the point is, you're telling me that you risk hurting your ankle worse, and now you got to wake up tomorrow to see how much worse it might be just to play in a preseason game? When I watch my guy Lonzo Ball with the Lakers, he ripped his ankle the other night, and the Lakers just said, we shut you down. We just hope you'll be ready to go for the start of the regular season. So am I supposed to think that LeBron James played last night on a really bad ankle that he wouldn't have played on when he's the Iron Man in the regular season, when he led the NBA in minutes last year, and he wouldn't have played on that ankle in a regular? Baloney! Yeah. I'm not buying it. You just got to reach back for a pregame excuse. Remember, I told you I wouldn't have played. Really?
We're preparing you when we take about 12 to 15 games off this year.
Aha.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
get
what it
prepared.
is.
Yeah, we're preparing you for that.
So the ankle is so bad it could be really bad when LeBron wakes up this morning. Am I supposed to buy that?
Yeah, it might be.
Is he at risk now of not being able to play against Kyrie? Should I start to think that he might want to duck Kyrie? Does he need an excuse not to play against Kyrie?
In the words of Austin Powers, it might be something that lingers.
Oh.
Lingers.
Yeah. That was actually Dr. Evil. Who
Yeah, I
says
like
that. Right. Okay.
It was Austin Powers, but
Okay.
evil, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna linger.
Yeah.
So why you mad? Skip, the man's ankle's hurt. You like, okay, he says his ankle hurt. Oh, okay, I'll give him that. Hold on, you're saying
Have you ever heard of this?
Yes!
That a player in the history of basketball, no player has ever said, I played tonight on an ankle in a preseason game on which I would not have played a real game.
Yeah.
Really?
Skip. Okay. He's gonna have a lot of different moving pieces. Kevin Love is going to the 5 spot. It was announced Kevin Love didn't know he was going to the 5 spot until LeBron James told him in a practice.
Oh, wait a second. I'm glad you brought that up.
Go ahead.
So does that prove once again that LeBron is the head coach of this team? He's also the GM of this team. He runs this show. And so it was LeBron who informed Kevin Love, you're the 5. You're starting at center.
Yeah.
Really? You buying that? Do you like that?
I love it.
Oh, this is exactly why. All of the above is exactly why Kyrie Irving finally said, I can't take it anymore. I'm out.
This
is craziness.
This is also.
This is insane. This is chaos created by the drama king night after night after night.
And this is also the reason that Kyrie Irving will not be going to any more NBA finals.
Oh, really?
Yes, he will not be getting any more rings.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. Skip, the man has a bum ankle. Okay, has Derrick Rose, who's going to be playing the point guard until Isaiah Thomas comes back. He has Jay Crowder, who's going to be the power forward, someone he's never played with, and they don't have any time. So you just want them to just go out there and just throw all this stuff together.
No, I want the best player on the planet to be completely healthy for game number 1 that actually does count.
Well, he will be. That's a week from last night. He has 7 days to rest and rehab that ankle. He will be ready. Second of all, he hasn't played with D. Wade in 3 years. This is a different D. Wade. This is a different LeBron James.
Oh, I think that's like riding a bicycle. I think you'll be okay there.
Yeah, but when you're used to riding a unicycle, a bicycle can cause you problems.
Oh, okay.
Now, with that being said, you worry about the old dilapidated, beat-up Spurs.
Yep.
You let me and LeBron worry about the Cavs and how we set this roster. Because what we got going.
By the way, who's older, Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James? Help me out.
Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker.
Dilapidated. Old.
Manu Ginobili and Tony
Is
Parker.
the best two-way player in basketball dilapidated and old?
All I know.
He's just a baby compared to LeBron in his 15th year.
Yeah. When is he going back to the finals?
Huh?
When is that baby going back to the finals?
Maybe this year.
Maybe not.
Maybe this year. Maybe he would have been last year if he hadn't gotten hurt by Zaza Pacheep shot.
Skip, you need to stop. I don't know why every time LeBron James says something, you try to
I'm not dissecting it.
Yes,
It's just people just let it go.
Yeah,
They
you
just
should.
sweep it under the carpet. He gets pass after pass. He was throwing some bad passes, but he got thrown a great pass after the game by you and by the media. Nobody's going to pick up on this.
He looks like a guy that has not played competitive, organized basketball since the finals. He alluded to that. Watching him, I felt real comfortable saying, yeah, he hasn't played in a while. He'll go the whole season and he won't have 8 turnovers. You know that. I know that.
I don't know that because he's a high turnover guy. He had some of those last year where you'd say, wow, what happened,
he also
LeBron?
had some hot games where he had like 14, 15 assists.
He's got potential, and he might have to have them when he
Yeah,
doesn't
Bayless,
have
if you say anything about LeBron James' potential, you're going to upset me. There is no potential. He's fulfilled his potential.
Help me out. Who calls him the best passer in basketball? Who's called him that regularly?
The general managers agreed with you.
I called him that. I think I said it before anybody said it.
And what did
Until now, Alonso's.
And what about the general managers? They said that too when they had this poll and they listed all these categories. He was number 1
And all of a
7.
sudden you say, oh, maybe he is.
He had a bum ankle. Stop doing that, Skip.
I don't think I think it's 100% healed, or he would not have
Hold on,
missed that.
hold on. You just said that you believed it when you said it.
I believed he heard it before. I believe he tweaked it.
Okay.
But if he played last night, trust me, it was okay.
Yeah.
Does he have some lingering soreness like you always do when you really rip your ankle?
It
Maybe.
might be.
Yeah.
Now, listen. Now, if you want us to play in a lot of these arenas, I tell you what we might do. If you keep on talking, I'm telling you, I'm not going to Boston. Because y'all know y'all waiting for me to come to Boston and y'all going to play it up. So if you want me to play on my trip back to Boston, I suggest, Skip Bayless, you start talking a little nicer to me.
You're threatening a boycott of Boston?
Yes!
Wait, and you are like It's like Colonel Parker to Elvis. Remember that? You're like the Colonel Parker
Yes,
to LeBron.
because I
right?
here to try to prove a point to
Yeah.
you that my ankle is really hurt.
Mm.
And what I was trying to do, although my ankle is hurt, and if it was a regular season game, I wouldn't be playing. I need to work on some chemistry. I don't believe
I don't buy that. LeBron plays every game. I always call him Iron Man. He would have played last night if it had been a regular season game.
Who's the
Just
game
as he
against?
played
Who's the game against?
anybody. I
No.
just looked down their schedule and it's got cupcakes galore.
Oh,
Man,
Lord.
it's just Eastern. Like you open up with Boston, okay, so that's pretty tough. But then you get Orlando, you get Brooklyn, you get Chicago, you get New York. That's just in the first 7 games. Those are just like gimme, 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 layup, 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 layup.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.